It's Monday morning, and in a glass-walled conference room, senior leadership is reviewing last quarter's numbers. The numbers are fine, not amazing, not disastrous, just fine. And yet, a decision is being made that will end someone's management career by Friday. Not because the numbers collapsed, and not because the strategy was wrong, and not because the manager didn't work hard, but because people stopped listening, trusting, and wanting to work with them. Today, we're answering a deceptively simple question. One that has ended more managerial careers than bad markets, weak products, or technical incompetence combined. What most often gets managers terminated? And the answer might make you uncomfortable, especially if you're smart, capable, and convinced you're doing just fine. The question comes from Robert Etchinger, Michael Lombardo, and Dave Ulrich in their outstanding book, 100 Things You Need to Know, Best People Practices for Managers in HR. These researchers ask hard questions, test them across organizations, industries, and decades, and then tell us how confident they are of the answer. So today's question is, what most often gets managers terminated? A, poor performance. B, poor future prospects. C, poor self-knowledge and relationships. D, poor technical job skills. Or E, poor track record overall. The answer is C, poor self-knowledge and relationships. And how sure are the authors of this answer? It is substantial, meaning research strongly supports the answer. Here's the brutal truth. Most managers don't fail because they can't do the job. They fail because they lack self-awareness and have poor interpersonal relationships. Early in your career, success comes from technical skills, problem-solving, and personal drive. But as you move up, success depends on self-awareness, influence, relationships, and adaptability. And that's where the derailment begins. Think of a high-performing individual contributor promoted to manager. Perhaps they were the best engineer, top salesperson, or go-to analyst. Now, suddenly they're leading people who don't like what they do, don't move as fast as they do, and worst of all, don't automatically agree with them. So what do? They tend to micromanage, constantly overcorrect, get impatient, and assume resistance is incompetence. From their perspective, I'm just trying to lead the team, but from everyone else's perspective, this person is impossible to work for. And that gap, that blind spot, is lethal. Research shows something fascinating. According to Daniel Goldman's work on 360-degree assessments, average performers consistently overestimate themselves, but star performers rarely do. In fact, stars often underestimate their abilities. Picture a manager getting a 360-degree review. Their peers say, doesn't listen. Direct reports say, unapproachable. Boss says, strong results, weak collaboration. And the manager's response? Well, that's just because my team isn't strong. They don't see the bigger picture, and people are too sensitive these days. That's not feedback being processed, that's feedback being deflected. And that deflection is one of the strongest predictors of derailment. Study after study with companies like AT&T, 3M, and high-tech firms with thousands of managers studied, the pattern is consistent. The best leaders know their strengths, acknowledge their weaknesses, seek feedback, and adjust their behavior. Lombardo and Etchinger describe the most visible derailers as bright, technically proficient problem solvers with high independence, low relationship needs, but poor team building skills. This shows up constantly in modern organizations. A manager delivers results, but misses relationships, burns bridges, and dismisses input. Leaders tolerate it for a while, but eventually other leaders complain, turnover increases, trust erodes, and the manager becomes hard to place. And one day during a reorg or a downturn, that manager isn't protected because no one wants to go to bat for them. Research by Lombardo and Macaulay cluster derailment into 6 recurring flaws. Problems with interpersonal relationships, difficulty building or molding a team, difficulty making strategic transitions, lack of follow-through, overdependence on a mentor or a boss, and strategic differences with senior leadership. Notice something? Most of these aren't technical failures, they are human failures. A study by Schipper and Dillard of over 1,000 middle managers found something chilling. Managers who overestimate their abilities learn less, resist development, and perform worse over time. According to Lombardo and Etchinger, most terminations boil down to 3 causes: poor work relationships, inability to get work done through others, and non-strategic thinking. Notice again? People, perspective. Obviously, this research is important to leaders and HR professionals. And it's just not interesting, it's actionable. Early in one's career, high potentials should be exposed to derailment research. Let them know that talent isn't enough. Self-awareness is a skill, and feedback is fuel. High potentials should be assigned coaches or mentors who give them feedback not tied to the formal chain of command. Why? Because this enables the high potential to hear about possible problems before they become part of the formal performance evaluation. 6 months in, new managers should have a review, learn what is working and what is not. The review should ideally include some anonymous 360-degree feedback from their boss, peers, and employees. This data may help the new manager understand their strengths and weaknesses before going forward. So what most often gets managers terminated? It's not a lack of skill, or a lack of effort, or lack of intelligence, but a lack of self-awareness and the damaged relationships that follow. If you want to stay in the game, really stay in it, start by asking the hardest question of all. How do others experience me when I'm not in the room? The answer just might save your career.
John Paul here. If you like this video, check out the HR Insight YouTube channel where we have more videos just like this. Make sure to click subscribe so you get notifications.